Hello everybody, what is going on? Welcome to the channel. Today we're gonna compare this beautiful Aprilia RS660 to this beautiful CFMOTO SR675. We're gonna measure 0 to 100/150 kilometers per hour acceleration. We're gonna talk about the real weight of those bikes. Full gas tank, just trust me. And we're gonna see their performance in a city. If you want to see that and even more, then this video is for you. I'll hop on those bikes and let's go! Brakes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is not a slow bike, guys. This is not a slow bike. Quick shifter works perfectly. You cannot wish for a better quick shifter, that's for sure. Guys, one thing I need to talk about is brakes. We have 320mm Brembo brakes. Brakes are awesome. This bike would thrive on the track. When you ride in conditions like that, when you have to be pretty slow, you have to maneuver around the slow speeds. Let's say you need to squeeze through the traffic. I feel like this huge tank, even though it looks absolutely astonishing, but it will stand on your way a little, so you need to get used to it. As I ride this bike, I'm smiling all the way. Again, right now, this is not your conventional street ride. We don't have many cars in front, so if you have some space, this bike would be so much fun. I mean, I cannot say enough good things about this bike in conditions like that. Just awesome. And again, if you run over a small tiny bump on the asphalt, it will not be a problem. If you run over a manhole, no problem whatsoever. But it's a little bit stiff. Again, we have a full adjustable suspension, so you can still make it a little bit softer. But I feel like this bike is exactly where it's supposed to be. Another U-turn. Nobody from behind. Okay. Alright, yeah, U-turns aren't very pleasant. Oh my goodness. Yeah, my people, twisties is exactly where you have to ride this bike. If your place has some twisties, yeah, don't think about it, just buy this bike. It feels different. Now this frame makes huge difference in twisties or on the track. Let me show what we have. So right now we have engine map on 1, engine braking on 2, traction control on 3. We still have anti-wheelie on and ABS on 2. So we're gonna measure 0 to 100 km/h acceleration once again. Alright, power wheelie again. Alright. But it doesn't feel slow, that's for sure. It feels powerful. Okay, ready? Oh my god. Yeah. That's all. I don't want to go anymore. That was pretty fast. I don't want traction control to be too intrusive, and I feel like I found sweet spot right now. My traction control is adjusted to 3, and I feel like this is exactly where it's supposed to be. Again, my wheelie control is on, and yet we can still leave the front wheel little. I can speak about SRK 800, I can speak about all those other Chinese bikes that I rode, and those bikes in the city, I would say, don't feel worse than this. I would argue that SRK 800 feels a little bit faster than this, more punchier, and that inline 4 sounds even better than this. But once you hit the twisties, oh my god, dudes, this is just incredible. This bike feels so good. Let's check. Alright guys, so just now my acceleration from 0 to 100 was sub 4 seconds, 3.94. But guess what? 0 to 100 is 7.7. It's so slow. It's almost 1 second slower than on Zontis, and it's slower than on Aprilia. This is what I'm saying. It's really easy to launch this bike. 0 to 100 is good, but then when you go a little bit further, all those bikes, they're just way more powerful than this. Oh, dude, what the hell? Whew. All right, guys. 0 to 150 was sub 7 seconds. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, 3.7 seconds. Biggest problem of CFMOTO is that you constantly have to pay attention to the rev limiter because it comes at you so aggressively, so unpredictably. And let's say if you race with your buddies, instead of paying attention to what's going on around, instead of paying attention to your buddies, you have to freaking pay attention to the speedometer, because you cannot just rely upon the sound like on other bikes. It comes at you so unpredictably, so the only way for you to understand what's going on is to look at the dash, at the rev limiter, and it's super annoying. This is by far the worst part of this bike, by far. All right, 7.35. You know why my result was better just now? Because instead of looking on the road, I was looking at the dash, and I was upshifting right before the rev limiter hit. And it's super annoying, and you can only do that if you look here. But again, dude, if you race, you don't really want to pay attention to your freaking speedometer all the time, because you're gonna crash. You need to shift gears here. You see this little tiny red zone? So it starts at 11 and it will be over at 12. Ooh. Yeah, 7.6. Nah. Speaking loudly because I don't have a microphone. If my traction control is intrusive, I just feel how it cuts the power. But if I let it loose, all those power wheelies, they're just preposterous. The front end feels so light, the bike feels so light. This power is absolutely excessive for this weight. And it's not that I'm dropping the clutch. I try to be smooth with the clutch, but if I open the throttle relatively fast, like you do on other bikes, this bike just goes up all the time, and it will definitely stop you from accelerating fast. It actually feels pretty much the same as the new version of NK800. So when you use and utilize the whole power that this bike has, it's just so excessive that you cannot use it to 100%. So maybe it'll be even better if you'll be in second most powerful mode. If you just casually ride at super low RPMs, the very beginning isn't jerky, like on NK800, but then I would say after 4,000 or 5,000, it just goes berserk. It does power wheelies uncontrollably. It's really difficult to manage this power, and this is not the most powerful bike, but given that this machine is so light, this combination of super lightweight and this power makes it so difficult to tame. We got lucky, dudes. We have 3 power modes. Right now, guys, I was utilizing 100% of its power. I feel like if not for traction control, I have to stop myself artificially from exploiting 100% of its abilities, because with my set of skills, it's pretty much impossible to launch it properly. Full gas tank. Just trust me, okay? Don't trust me. I'll show you later. Okay, 182 kilograms. Let's open it up. Yeah. Shoot, I hope you see. We have a full fuel tank. So 0 to 150 on CFMOTO is gonna be way worse than on any other bike I have reviewed recently. SRK800 is much faster, Zontis is much faster, Aprilia is faster. Brakes are way better on Aprilia. Power-wise, Aprilia feels way more aggressive and powerful. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour is going to be better on CFMOTO because it's way more efficient, it's way more easy to launch. But then, once you connect finally with the asphalt, Aprilia is going to manage to accelerate from 0 to 150 way better than CFMOTO. CFMOTO feels a little bit heavier, but honestly, in city conditions, it feels pretty much the same, but it's less flickable. When you ride Aprilia with no rider's edge, it's scary and super fun. CFMOTO is lazy. I really like the throttle on CFMOTO because it's very long, so it gives you some room for a mistake. Meanwhile, on Aprilia throttle, it's heavy. We can still do power wheelies. Dudes, you're always asking me. So, let me show you. First gear, okay. Average is 9.6 liters per 100 kilometers. That's outrageous. It's so bad. But on Aprilia, it was pretty much the same. On Zontis, it was less than 8. And on SRK800, it was at about 7.5 or 8 as well. Every single bike I was talking about has adjustable suspension, but to be honest, on CFMOTO it doesn't feel as rigid. Again, you can make it more stiff, but it just doesn't feel as sporty, which is crazy because ergonomics-wise, CFMOTO will be the most uncomfortable. Overall, I feel like QGMoto would be heavy but comfortable, Zontis would be comfortable and light, Aprilia would be super light, extremely maneuverable and very comfortable, but crazy and unpredictable. It's really angry, very fast, absolutely unpredictable, so you never know what to expect ahead of time. And this is a pure fun. All those light glowing signals, they're very beautiful, and when you ride fast, it gives you an impression as if you're in a video game, which is really cool. You're like a butcherer. It sounds like a chainsaw. Very aggressive. I like it. Oh my goodness. Okay. When you tip it like this, the bike is weightless. It's 182 kilograms. So it's 18 kilograms lighter than CFMOTO and 16 kilograms lighter than Zonti's. It's incredibly flickable, very maneuverable, pure pleasure to ride in corners. If you're looking for a motorcycle which would be the best in twisties / track, this would be much better than CFMOTO. It would be even better than Zonti's, I would say, just because we're lighter than Zonti's. But honestly, Zonti's felt very flickable and maneuverable as well, so the difference wouldn't be that tremendous. When you crack the throttle open on Aprilia, given that you turn all those rider modes off, rider 8s off, the bike would just do crazy power wheelies, which would be super scary, very unpredictable. And even though it's not efficient, but it's crazy fun. On CFMOTO, power delivery is really smooth, very, very predictable, very manageable. And this is why I'm saying that CFMOTO will be more approachable for beginners. I feel like everybody can ride CFMOTO. It's very safe, very rational. This bike is not rational at all, but it's extremely addictive. It's pure pleasure to ride. It's aggressive and feels way more powerful than CFMOTO. Has better brakes, has more rigid suspension. Feels way more fun when you ride. Feels more agile. In the end of the day, if I could choose one bike, would I choose Aprilia 660 or CFMOTO, or would I choose Zonti's? You know what? Probably I would choose Zonti 703 because it's almost as flickable as Aprilia. It will be a little bit more heavy than this, but this additional weight would make the bike more stable, much more easy to launch, and it's still much faster than this. So I would say, guys, that as a conclusion of my video, Aprilia 660 gives you so much. We have absolutely everything in terms of technology. You can adjust absolutely everything you want on this bike. But in the end of the day, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour acceleration wouldn't be as good, even though it's extremely flickable and it's pure joy to ride in corners, but there are not too many corners in a city like this. So you need to understand your priorities, guys. If you ride in a city, Zonti's would be always better. If you ride on a track, Aprilia will be the most optimal option, but Zonti's wouldn't be that bad as well for twisties or a track. Alright guys, I'm very curious what you have to say about this Aprilia in comparison to CFMOTO and Zonti's. Please let me know what you think about this video in the comment section below. If you like the video, hit the like button, and as always, I'll see you in my next videos, so please stay safe, and bye bye everybody. Take care.